The slave pens of Varnock Prime stank of despair. Metal cages lined the underground market, each holding beings from across the known galaxies. Zarnathi warriors with mutilated limbs, charnel females stripped of their antennae, Glyphni children with hollow, terrified eyes. Bidders walked past with calculating gazes, picking over the lives like one would livestock. Captain Elias Granger watched silently from the upper balcony of the slave house. His coat, dusty from weeks crossing the fringe worlds, bore the golden starburst insignia of the Terran Free Systems. Most there thought him a mercenary, maybe a smuggler. No one guessed he was a retired soldier, one of the last veterans of the Vorga Rebellion. His gaze swept over the already thinning crowd. The bidding had been fast and efficient. Traders were eager to return to the stars with their newly bought laborers. But Granger wasn't here to buy muscle or servants. He was here because of a rumor, whispers of an unsellable slave. A creature too broken, too strange, or too worthless for even the cruelest of traders to take. And he had to see. At the farthest end of the pens, in a small cage half covered in darkness, Granger found her. She sat curled into herself, limbs awkwardly folded, her body far too thin for her frame. Her skin shimmered a dull purple, marred with countless scars that looked like etched burn marks. A set of unused wings, crumpled and useless, hung behind her like wilted leaves. Her eyes, large and luminescent, barely lifted when he approached. The merchant nearby noticed him looking. He snorted. "Don't bother. That one's defective." Granger raised an eyebrow. "Defective how?" "Doesn't speak. Doesn't follow commands. Won't even eat unless someone shows her how. We think she was bred in a lab, maybe half-formed. No past, no value. The buyers all passed." Granger knelt beside the bars. She flinched but didn't flee. "What's her species?" "Unknown. Genetic scans are inconclusive. She's a leftover. We were going to space her after today." Granger didn't hesitate. "I'll take her." The merchant blinked. "You what?" "You heard me. She's not even." "I didn't ask for a guarantee," Granger said, placing a stack of Terran credits onto the bench beside the merchant. "Tag her to my ship." She didn't resist when they unlocked her cage. Didn't speak, or cry out, or even look up as Granger led her away from the pits. The others stared as they passed, the slavers, the merchants, even the other slaves, wondering what kind of fool would spend good money on the broken. On the shuttle back to his ship Dustwalker, she sat on the floor, arms wrapped tightly around her knees. Granger handed her a ration bar. She sniffed it but made no move to eat. He opened one himself and took a slow bite. Only then did she copy him, biting carefully, chewing in slow, cautious motions. Her eyes flicked to his every move, as if memorizing it. "All right then," Granger murmured. "You're learning." The days passed slowly. She remained silent, never speaking a word. But she followed him everywhere on the ship. If he entered the galley, she sat in the corner. If he repaired the hull, she watched. When he slept, she curled up near the door like a loyal ghost. He gave her a name, Luma, though she never responded to it. Still, something changed. She ate regularly now. She no longer flinched at sudden sounds. When Granger spoke, she tilted her head like a child listening to a story. And one day, she brought him his coat before he could ask. He took it gently. "Thank you, Luma." Her eyes flickered. A slight tilt of the head. Recognition. It wasn't until 2 months later that he heard her voice. They were en route to the Kester Fringe, responding to a call from an old contact about rogue pirates hounding refugee vessels. Granger had just returned from a tense meeting with one such group, bloodied but alive. Luma met him at the boarding ramp, her small form rigid with worry. He grunted, holding a bandage to his ribs. "Nothing I can't handle." Her fingers trembled as she reached out. And then, softly, in a voice like wind over glass, "Hurts." Granger froze. Her eyes were wide, luminous, uncertain. It was as if speaking had torn something open inside her. "Yeah," he replied. "It does." She knelt and helped him patch the wound. After that, her words came in trickles, broken syllables, hesitant phrases. But it was language. She watched vids on the terminal. She mimicked speech. She learned. Granger was patient. He taught her how to fly the ship, how to repair minor systems, how to read. And through it all, he pieced together her story. She'd been grown, not born. Created in a bioforge somewhere in the depths of the Nebular Syndicate, a failed experiment to make emotionless, obedient organic servants. But something in her broke free of their programming. She had fled, was caught, sold, and discarded again and again. None could reach her. Until Granger. Their lives settled into rhythm. They traveled the stars, helping outposts, trading at fringe worlds. Luma became his quiet co-pilot, fixing what broke, recording star maps with incredible accuracy. Still, Granger knew others wouldn't see what he saw. To most, she would always be the worthless, a failed prototype, an unsellable thing. But not to him. To him, she was alive. The truth came to a head 6 months later, on the planet Arcot 9. Granger and Luma landed to resupply, unaware that the local syndicate slavers had flagged his ship. They came in the night, armed, masked, fast. They stormed the vessel. Granger fought, but age and numbers overwhelmed him. He fell, blaster ripped from his hand, his ribs broken beneath a boot. The slaver leader, a towering Krulk with iron tattoos on his neck, sneered at Luma as she stood between them and the captain. "Well now," he hissed, "the prototype lives. We'll fetch a nice bounty for you back in the labs." Luma said nothing, but her eyes glowed. Her wings extended, once shriveled, now unfurling, humming with light. The Krulk lunged. She moved like lightning. No weapon, no sound, just light and speed and fury. When it was over, the slavers lay scattered, alive, but broken. She knelt beside Granger, tears in her luminous eyes. "You hurt," she whispered. "I fix." He coughed a laugh. "I think I'm supposed to be protecting you." Luma tilted her head. "We protect each other." The news of what happened spread fast through the back channels. A failed prototype, awakened, freed, and powerful. Offers came in. Some wanted to study her, others to buy her again. Granger ignored them all. He gave Luma a choice. Stay or go. She chose to stay. Not because he owned her, but because he had never treated her like property. Years passed. The Dustwalker became more than just a ship. It was a symbol of rescue, of redemption, of rebellion. Granger grew older, slower. But Luma remained by his side, his pilot, his partner, his protector. And when he finally passed beneath the twin suns of Solaris Prime, she buried him herself on a hill overlooking the sea. On the grave marker, etched in her now graceful handwriting, were the words, "He bought the worthless, but gave me worth." And from that day forward, the galaxy whispered a new name with reverence. Luma the Liberator, the one who had once been sold and forgotten, but became the savior of the broken. All because one human believed that no being is truly worthless.